Elon Musk may be the closest thing the real world has to Iron Man, but he still has to rely on regular security guards to keep him safe instead of sci-fi armor. Elon Musk is currently the richest man in the world with a net worth of around $223 billion. That makes him the most recognizable billionaire the earth has to offer. Everything he does, from selling all his houses to sending people into space, instantly becomes international news, so he has to spend a lot on protection. He's very close with his security detail. Aside from protecting him from bodily harm, Musk has assigned them with special tasks, such as rushing him off stage if something goes wrong during a public appearance, or as an excuse to get away quickly from an interaction he wants to end. In his own words, Musk said that he wanted a team so thick you couldn't see through them. It's been estimated that his team makes between $42,000 and $145,000. Many celebrity bodyguard services bring in that kind of cash, though it's possible that they could make upwards of $200,000, which is the higher end of the celebrity bodyguard spectrum. Of course, calling these pros bodyguards may be a bit insulting. They apparently go by the name Executive Protection Agents. Services like Global Threat Solutions are the ones big names like Musk call when they need high-quality service. They put each agent through a rigorous training regimen where they learn how to be a fly on the wall, seen and unseen at the same time. They also have to be able to spot anything strange in a crowd, stay in formation while following their client or principal, and most importantly, rush to their defense in case of any danger. So next time you hear old Elon talk about his security detail, don't just imagine a big hulking bouncer who is ready to go full roadhouse on someone at the drop of a hat. Picture these cerebral agents who have to be able to think on their feet and protect their charge, even at the cost of their own life. That's not the only kind of guard that Elon has protecting him, even if the other isn't super helpful. For The Boring Company, Musk actually built a giant watchtower for security. No, not a modern watchtower. This one is made of brick and looks like something from a medieval castle. It also has knight's armor stationed at the top. All of this was an elaborate nod to Monty Python, which looks like it cost several thousands of dollars, though it would be better if the knight yelled insults at every employee as they passed by. I mean, if you're gonna be a billionaire Monty Python fan, at least do it right. He doesn't just have agents and knights guarding him either. Musk apparently could do the job himself if he needs to. When he was young, his parents paid to have little Elon trained in multiple disciplines. He admitted to training in karate, taekwondo, judo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu briefly. He has passed this proud tradition on to his kids, as he's had them training in self-defense since they were 6 years of age. As far as advanced security systems go, it's doubtful that his prefab tiny house has super high-tech systems in place. I mean, it only cost him like $50,000. Unless it's secretly a transformer, it seems like the richest man in the world lives in the least secure home in the world. Though anyone who breaks in better be ready to throw hands, because Musk and his kids certainly are ready. If you look and act like Lex Luthor, then you've got to be willing to drop some cash on security. Jeff Bezos is definitely doing just that with his $177 billion. The billionaire has reportedly spent over $1 million on his personal security. That includes some pretty extreme measures. He's even had bulletproof panels installed in his office. Each panel costs around $180,000 to be put in. These are powerful enough to hold up against fire from a military assault rifle. Bulletproof glass wasn't quite enough to protect Bezos when he did come under attack, though. His phone was very publicly hacked, and sensitive texts about his private life were used as potential blackmail before getting spread through the internet. In order to figure out who was responsible, he hired his personal security chief to get the job done at all costs. I mean that literally. According to the guy, Bezos walked into his office and pretty much handed him a blank check to spend however much was needed to get to the bottom of it. He concluded that Saudi Arabia was behind the attack due to Bezos owning the Washington Post. With all that security that Bezos is an expert in, it's surprising that no one could have told him what a burner phone is. Would have saved him an international incident and millions of dollars for the low price of around $10. Mark Zuckerberg has a knack for making people angry. The Winklevoss twins, Eduardo Saverin, every user he's ever sent to Facebook jail, Congress, the list goes on. So it's not shocking at all to find out that Zuck has one of the most over-dramatic security details of the bunch. He spends around $23 million on a fully stacked security force. Though when you're worth around $75 billion, that's no big expenditure. Every single day of his life, Mark is protected 24/7 by armed security executives. The creator of Facebook essentially has his own secret service to protect him from all the haters. That's what we know, though. There are rumors that the notoriously paranoid Zuckerberg has even more ridiculous security measures that show just how deep that paranoia allegedly runs. For starters, his homes are rumored to feature panic rooms that have their own armed guards 24/7. Knowing Zuckerberg, he's got the place fully loaded with couches, TVs, food for a few years, and a large collection of movies. Just not the Social Network, for obvious reasons. One piece of gossip that's evidently famous around other Facebook employees is that Mark has an emergency panic chute under the conference room where he and others can escape just in case. I didn't realize the rivalry with Twitter went quite that hard. His paranoia ran deep into Facebook's security as well. The company has an incredibly powerful security team. It's been reported that they employ over 6,000 armed guards. That's not just the ones you can see either. They employ off-duty police officers who work undercover in civilian clothes to guard the offices. Global security is their team that prepares for every possible scenario, including an attack at one of the offices, to a mysterious package, to anything else that could possibly happen. They have spent millions on this defense force that could probably overtake anything Twitter has to offer. Zuckerberg even has armed guards who are stationed outside of all of his homes. His paranoia also includes his Hawaiian estate. The reclusive billionaire has constructed a controversial 6-foot wall around his property. Not only that, but he spent a great deal of time and money on lawsuits to expand his Hawaiian empire in a pretty brutal fashion. Not only would those that refused Zuckerberg be asked to outbid the billionaire, but they would then have to pay his legal fees as well. This led to a huge controversy and accusations that he is the face of neo-colonialism in Hawaii. Mark made a very public apology, but didn't concede any of that land. This has not made him any more popular with the neighbors, which makes me guess he's increased that security even more. Man, he really has a way with people, doesn't he? In 1999, the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates, was victim to a terrible crime. An assailant approached him from the sidewalk and then threw a pie right in his face. The hilarious face splattering made it onto the news and was a big joke for everyone. Everyone except Gates. Since the incident, Gates reportedly became obsessed with his own security. When you're worth $129 billion, you can really put your obsession to the test. He is followed by a security team wherever he goes in the world. His homes are also reported to have been outfitted with the most advanced security systems money can buy. Gates frequently visits other countries due to his many charitable foundations and is often seen being led by a team of guards both in front and behind him. I assume his is the only security team that has a pie-in-the-face drill every month. You never know when it's going to happen again. Most billionaires upgrade their private security just in case of the worst. Few have actually survived a monstrous experience that has left them feeling unsafe. Warren Buffett has plenty of reason to spend big on security, even if he spends less than I bet you'd guess. In 1987, he survived a terrible ordeal. That year, 2 men tried to kidnap him. Their plan was to hold the famous businessman to ransom. The price for his safe return was going to be $100,000. Both men were armed, and they showed up at his office in Omaha, Nebraska, ready to attack. Instead, security guards and local police took them in before they got the chance. Their plan failed miserably, but Buffett made sure it would never happen again. His efforts began in his office. He added advanced security cameras to make sure no intruders tried to attack him again. He also had a 300-pound metal door installed in his office to basically make it into his stronghold in case of the worst. Now Buffett reportedly spends an average of $339,000 a year on personal security. Considering the fact that he is worth $114 billion and the harrowing trauma he endured, it does surprise me he hasn't spent more. Though this is the man who famously eats the same thing from McDonald's for breakfast each morning, never spending more than $3.17. Of course, that $300K seems to be money very well spent. In September of 2007, one of his homes was nearly invaded. A man wearing dark clothes and camouflage face paint came to the door. That's when one of his security officers intervened. The armed robber tried to attack the guard, but he managed to disarm him and fight him off. Who was this guard? Liam Neeson? The robber fled for his life, and I'm sure the guard got a big raise. So with help like that, I guess you don't really need to spend millions to feel secure. Kim Kardashian has one of the most famous faces in the entire world. While that has earned her around $1.8 billion, that kind of international fame didn't exactly win her much favor way back in 2016. At the time, Kardashian was staying in Paris during Fashion Week. By all accounts, she was having her normal glitzy time that you'd see on any episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That's when 5 men stormed the hotel. They threatened the concierge at gunpoint. Then they made him open Kardashian's door before handcuffing him. They took many pieces of jewelry, including 2 diamond Cartier bracelets, a Lorraine Schwartz diamond necklace, diamond earrings, a gold Rolex watch, a diamond necklace that read Saint after her son, and many other pieces. Kardashian wasn't physically injured during the robbery, but she was badly shaken. While the men were eventually arrested, she confessed that the ordeal changed her life. Since then, she spends more than almost anyone else in the world on personal security. She apparently spends over $100,000 a day, or $7 million a year, on an incredible security team. Kim even reportedly had a security pod installed into the garage of her $60 million California home. The pod is staffed 24 hours a day with what I assume are some of the best guards ever trained. Her and her then-husband Kanye West even spent $2 million on the security of their surrogate. All of this money may sound a bit dramatic, but it's actually money very well spent. In 2021, a stalker came up to the house and tried to convince security that he was Kim's husband. Not that he was Kanye, mind you, but that he was Kim's secret new husband. The security force detained him and handed him over to the police. They then put him on a psychiatric hold. Yeah, maybe she should spend like $8 million. After Ye's most recent music video, which showed him attacking Kardashian's new boyfriend since their marriage came to an end, I'd say that Pete Davidson is the one who needs to start spending millions on security right now. Sundar Pichai is the current CEO of Google. That means that his stock is rising every year. Not just that, but the potential threat to his person is rising every year. So he's worth around $1.3 billion. That means he's become a sizable target for thieves, kidnappers, or anyone else with violent intent. Concerns were raised even higher after the companies suffered a brutal attack. The YouTube San Bruno campus was attacked, which led to the injuries of several different employees. This was a huge shock to the company and the entire tech world. It led to the company increasing security measures across all of their offices. The increased measures went all the way to the top. Now the Google offices claim that they are practically impossible to break into. They have spent millions on biometric technology, laser-based intrusion detection, and perimeter fencing. Those are just the defenses they're telling us about too. My guess is that there are probably drones that fly out of the walls and fire at you. That would be the most impressive way to upgrade security. This included a serious upgrade to their CEO's protection. Before 2018, he had $680,000 spent on his personal detail. After the attack, that budget got nearly doubled to $1.2 million. No word on if he gets followed around by little drones or not, though. He probably does. Regular bodyguards cost around $20 an hour. Now I just want to hire some for the day so I can get the full Elon Musk experience.